Hi, it's June 29th. I'm going to do a short reading on coronavirus in English, and then I will be doing another video after that on the same channel, this channel, in Spanish. So I hope you're all well. I'm readjusting to life in Canada. I've acclimatized. I'm not cold all the time anymore. It took like about 5 days. When I came back from Mexico, I was so cold. So cold. And I jumped in a lake the other day, also very cold, but I'm kind of enjoying the cooler weather now because it's sunny and nice, and I'm in a beautiful place. I feel very lucky to be here. So it's all working out. Yeah, it's always really hard to leave Mexico. I always feel like, a piece of my soul is left there. Yeah, there's an openness and a warmth there with the people that I really miss when I come back. But there's other things I love about being here too, so it's all good. Okay, I'm just gonna concentrate for a minute. So I had some requests from people after my last video about the prediction around second wave. So since my reading goes from sort of present day to the next 3 months, it's a little bit harder around including that, but I'm going to ask specific questions about that to try and give you some more information. Okay? So thinking about the second wave. Okay, so our first card here, we have it's the Six of Wands reversed. And the Six of Wands reversed is for the present moment. And this card usually is the card indicating success, specifically with respect to career and moving forward. But it's reversed. So this would indicate that we're moving forward with work, but there's still barriers and obstacles around what's happening for most people. Not everybody. Some people are fortunate and are working at home in more secure jobs. But for everybody here, things have slowed down. Things have been revamped. And so most of us are getting by, but things are not as they were. Okay, so that's the first card. And we're speaking of the present moment. The second card is the Eight of Cups, which is right next to it. And the Eight of Cups is all about cutting our losses. And it's not like we're losing everything that we have, but it is indicating that it's sort of like being in a bad relationship where you've invested a lot of time and energy, and there's a part of you that doesn't want to go because you're always feeling like, well, I've tried this hard and it's gone on this long, and it's really hard to let go. Like, it's really, really hard to let go. So this card is indicating that we are in the process of learning and dealing with letting go of things. So whether it's going to your favorite store or going out dancing or issues around money, we're still very much in this moment of dealing with letting things go. The Queen of Cups comes up next. This is moving into the next month. And she is just a beautiful energy. She is the person that will guide us through and keep us strong emotionally. She would be a leader in the health field or government, and she will guide us. She's got, our best interest at heart. So there's a female an international leader, a female leader who really has, um, you know, she's just tapped in. She's tapped into the spiritual energy, the loving energy, and she's here watching over us. So we have somebody thinking about our best interests. Um, and she's actually looking at this card, which is the Eight of Cups. So this is someone who's really aware of what's happening with people. This isn't someone who's just blindly making bureaucratic decisions. This is someone who really understands the human condition and how people are being affected by COVID. Now, the next card, coming to the end of the next month or 2 months, we have the Devil reversed. And depending on how you want to interpret this card on a personal level, the Devil reversed would be about freeing ourselves from our own restrictions. But because I'm speaking specifically about COVID, on a personal level, we could look at the things that we need to work on in ourselves. Some people put on a lot of weight, staying home, instead of exercising more, to deal with stress. Things like this. Some people are drinking a lot because, they feel, overwhelmed. Anybody with addictive tendencies is maybe a little bit more likely to fall into that right now. But on a more international level, the Devil reversed would indicate that there are underlying forces at play that we need to be aware of or free ourselves from. It could be through education, it could be through emotional support. There are some forces at play. Things are happening, there are things happening while we're being distracted that are it's just easy for certain things to happen right now because people are putting all their energy in one direction. And so there are some things happening behind the scenes, okay? And it's in direct not opposition, but, the queen that's here, the woman that's going to help us, she's looking away, okay? So she's focused on our condition, whereas this energy is very much operating on its own, okay? And we have a male leader next to this card who's influencing things. And the King of Cups is always the person who talks the talk but can't walk the walk. Often someone who is not honest, manipulative, has his own agenda, doesn't care about people. Could be someone with mental health issues, could be someone with antisocial personality disorder, like sociopathic tendencies. So we have these cards, okay, speaking strongly about what's happening within the next, let's say, 6 weeks, 2 months. And so we need to prepare ourselves and just be aware of some of these forces that are negative influences. And the last card we have here is the Eight of Swords reversed. And this card always speaks to the way that it's about how we restrict ourselves. So, some interesting things are happening with COVID around people investing their energy and all kinds of things that they wouldn't have had time or the focus for before, like whether it's putting in beautiful gardens or growing their own food or looking at alternative energy, trying to make a change with their career, going back to school. There are some really positive things that have come out of COVID with people being able to focus their energy in different directions. This card, 1, 2, 3, we're looking at 3 months now. So, it's indicating that we're still going to be affected by COVID in the next 3 months, okay? And this card is a reminder that we need to focus on our own wellness, especially emotionally, and we need to release ourselves from the restrictions that we impose on ourselves. Okay, it's not just about the restrictions that other people are placing on us. It's also about thinking about our wellness, our happiness, what we need to do to feel free, okay, in spite of everything. And this is the biggest challenge with respect to COVID is, who are we? What are we seeing in ourselves? How is this affecting the way we operate with other people? Are we able to be supportive and kind and compassionate and help others? You know, some people are moving into a place of attacking others, to extreme anxiety, you know, and things like this, destructive patterns. And I think the challenge here, in terms of any crisis, is, you know, what does it bring out of us? You know, how do we respond as humans with each other, with our environment, you know, in times of crisis? So now I'm going to ask a question about, um, the the actual second wave. Okay, so we're going to ask about the second wave. I'm going to see if things are going to continue. Are things going to just continue as they are now and just sort of like peter out? No. Are things going to stop and then pick up again? No. Are we going to be hit with a crisis that is going to be bigger than what we're dealing with now in the future, in the near future? Sorry to say, yes, there's going to be something coming up. So that's upsetting news, and so I'm sorry to leave you with that, but people asked, something bigger coming up. So you know what? I don't think we need to panic. I just think we need to be prepared, okay? So do your best. Let's just do our best with everything, you know? We don't need to assume the worst. Even if there's a second wave, even if there are things coming up, what we're going through now is helping us prepare for that, okay? So keep that in mind. You know, we've all been affected, right? And we're learning a lot about ourselves, okay? Um, and I don't think that we should rely on what other people are saying about the second wave being a certain kind of way. We don't know what that will look like. We have no idea. And we will also be more prepared for things coming up. Okay? So keep that in mind. Stay well, stay healthy, stay grounded. Let's all be loving. Okay? Take care, and we'll see you next week.